So I got to ask you because...
There's a lot.
There's a lot. Well, I'm curious because you would always hear that, like, you know, the magazines or radio hosts were adding gasoline to the beef.
Hell yeah, they were.
But you always would hear about, like, it on the Hot 97 side. I never really heard of, like, the Baker Boys or anybody, like, stirring up the East Coast, West Coast beef. What was, like, the temperature like after Pac dies? You're obviously in there. Biggie's thriving. He's about to put out, you know, Life After Death. And what was the temperature like being at the radio station? It's the hip hop station, quote unquote, in LA during that. Like,
I'll tell you why that started. I'll tell you why that started on the radio side. It's because Power 106 was breaking all these East Coast artists. And the artists were going back to Hot 97 saying, what the fuck? Biggie was broken in Los Angeles. Puffy was broken in Los Angeles. Mace was broken in Los Angeles. Big Pun was, rest in peace, was broken in Los Angeles. I mean, you have to remember, Steve Rifkin comes in my office, puts in a tape of the video of I'm Not a Player by Big Pun.
Right.
And I go, oh, that's dope. Hold on a second. And I pop the VHS tape out. I walk in the production room and take it from the VHS tape and put it on a CD. I walk on in the air and I hand it to them and say, play this next. I come back in, hand him his videotape, and he's like, what did you just do? And I'm like, oh, nothing, you know, just chilling. That song ends, all of a sudden, Not a Player comes on. And Steve's like, well, are you playing that on the radio? And I'm like, yeah, dope song. He goes, dude, we don't even have a CD pressed yet. Hot 97, I haven't even played it for Hot yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So... what do you think?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, you know, like what Ja said, and I love Ja and Irv, and why I love them so much is even when my own coast forgot about me, no matter what, Ja and Irv would always, no matter what they were doing, any other, you know, Breakfast Club or Drink Champs or anything, they'd be like, I got broken on the West Coast. You know what I mean? Like, New York wasn't messing with me. Brought Holla Holla and Can I Get Her and all of that stuff to thank you, Damien.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Jay-Z and all of them.
Because Holla Holla was like his first like solo.
Well, no.
Itch.
How many
like,
one it was?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm talking about like actual hit that like kind of like, you know, broke through as like a...
But we tried with Holla Holla first. Right. Because you have to remember, Irv produced Hotspot for Foxy Brown. Then he did Can I Get Her? So Jay Brown brought me Dame Dash and Jay-Z. And we tried like 5 singles on Jay-Z before
something caught.
Before Hard Knock Life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it got to the point where Def Jam was talking about not renewing his budget, and you know.
Well, yeah, because like Volume 1 was like, you know, but there was a lot of records and big videos that got shot. Like,
dude, Sunshine, City Is Mine,
and
I mean, Who You With,
and none of those like really hit.
None of
for
them.
Real.
We tried on the radio. Every single one of them, it didn't work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there was a lot of that. But, you know.
And those were the days that, like, you went into the studio because you were making a radio record.
Yeah.
And the money that you put into that radio record and the video, it was substantial.
Well,
so the investment probably had to be so crazy.
Oh, and they literally said, we're not going to renew his budget.
Yeah.
You know, but then Irv pops up with a soundtrack record. Can I Get Her?
On Nutty Professor.
Yeah. I think, I don't remember, but Brett Ratner was also managing.
No. Can I Get Her? Ain't No was I don't
remember.
Ain't No was on Nutty Professor.
Have Plenty.
Yeah.
I think it was Have Plenty soundtrack.
Yeah. Ain't No was on Nutty Professor. Which was before Volume 1.
Which I think was Quest, which was Jay Brown.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so Jay Brown keeps asking me to keep investing in this artist because he really believes in him, and it's Jay-Z. So he comes with Can I Get Her? Can I Get Her does great for radio.
Yeah.
Another record broke on the West Coast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, through meeting Irv. You know what I'm saying? Then Jermaine comes along and does Money Ain't a Thing and all of these records and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And Jay builds brand, all of this kind of stuff, does Hard Knock Life. Steve Smith comes in to me because now Michelle Mercer's gone. It's just me. And he goes, wait a minute, you're that 12-year-old kid that I helped in Santa Barbara. And Michael and I still have a consultancy. I'm still running Hot 97.
Yeah.
I got 32 stations in the middle. Tell you what, you're doing all this crazy promotions and Hawaii stuff and all this crazy stuff. He goes, I'll tell you what, work with Michael on the consultancy. I'll give you Power 106. You do whatever you want with Power 106, and I'll work on Hot 97. Just help me with the consultancy with Michael. So I would literally do the conference calls for the 32 stations with them and Steve and Michael and all this kind of stuff. So Steve on the conference call says, Jay-Z's Hard Knock Life is not getting any research. Pull it across the country. And I can't say anything, outshine the master on the, on the call and say, wait a minute, Steve, da-da-da-da-da, because, I'm not going to ever disrespect my boss. You know what I mean? Like, so after the call, I go running into his office and say, yo, it's number 15 in Los Angeles. We're starting to get call out, and we're 2 weeks ahead of New York.
Right.
So give it a second, bro. So literally made him get on with every single program director.
And say, hold off. Give it 2 more weeks. Right.
That Hard Knock Life record, give it 2 more weeks. And that shit popped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.